recognize another good friend and colleague, the Chairman of the Subcommittee on Asia and the Pacific, Mr. Matt Salmon of Arizona, for any remarks he may have.
Thank you very much, Chairman Forbes. I appreciate you giving me the opportunity to join you in convening this important and timely joint hearing. The territorial disputes in the South China Sea may represent the most significant long-term security challenge in our shared jurisdiction. Our conversations about this topic are often complicated by the minutiae of territorial seas, baselines, and high tide elevations, but it is important for us to remember today what the South China Sea dispute boils down to: one nation turning away from the peaceful mechanisms of international law and peaceful coexistence and instead embracing belligerence. Congress, the administration, and other counterparts across the world recognize the severity of the threat posed by China's aggressive, coercive actions in the South China Sea that undermine international norms. Our Secretary of Defense and the President himself regularly list the South China Sea among the world's most concerning international friction points and raise it at the highest levels with their Chinese interlocutors, including Chinese President Xi Jinping. Analysts around the world pore over the disputes, and the United States has undertaken a series of highly publicized freedom of navigation operations to contest China's outrageous claims. Alarmingly, all of this attention seems to have had little effect. Tensions in the sea continue to mount, and China has established effective control of many areas by building capable military facilities on top of disputed features. In light of these trends, today's hearing could not come at a better time. In the coming days, weeks, and months, the South China Sea territorial disputes will present a series of especially important challenges. Our response to these challenges has the potential to reverse the trend of escalating tensions or to cause further injury to the peaceful, rules-based international order. I'd like to touch briefly on a few of these challenges. First, the arbitral tribunal deciding the Philippines' legal case against China recently announced it will conclude its decision on July 12th. Although China is legally bound, and I repeat, they are legally bound to its result, it has refused to participate and has clearly said it will not comply. I'm concerned that many seem to have written off China's noncompliance as a foregone conclusion. We must remember that this case is the most significant, substantial approach to settling disputes in the South China Sea through a peaceful, equitable process. China should be held accountable to the tribunal's ruling. The Scarborough Shoal represents another critical test. China and the Philippines have come to the physical confrontation over this site before, and recent rumors hint that China may soon extend its island-building campaign to the shoal. Despite how near Scarborough is to Philippine shores, its disputed status makes it unclear whether it's covered by the U.S.-Philippines Mutual Defense Treaty. This uncertainty means that if aggression around Scarborough Shoal is not handled properly, the very credibility of such treaties could be damaged. These treaties are anchors of hub and spoke alliance system in the Pacific, and damage to them could have dire consequences on American influence and security in the region. Finally, I want to mention the continuing threat posed by China's ability to declare an air defense identification zone over the South China Sea. I'm concerned we have few direct options to counter this type of escalation if China chooses to pursue it. China's network of airstrips, radars, missile batteries constructed across the South China Sea while the rest of the world watched may provide a capacity to enforce such an ADIZ. While the United States military would never recognize such a zone, commercial carriers will likely comply with China's notification requirements as they have under China's ADIZ in the East China Sea. China will once again unilaterally have changed the status quo. These and countless other challenges posed by the South China Sea territorial disputes will continue to test the United States and our allies. Though the answers are sometimes not easy to find, I'm really glad we came together today to hold this joint hearing, and working towards solutions and keeping the issue at the forefront of foreign policy and national security agendas is critical, and I appreciate the opportunity. Yield back.
Mr. Chairman, thank you. And with that, I'd like to yield to the ranking member of the Subcommittee on Asia and the Pacific, Mr. Sherman, for any comment.
Thank you. Yeah. Mr. Chairman, I'll be a little bit of a contrarian, but if I